The eyes have it. Hello and welcome to Rotted Review of the Day, and today I am taking a look at the 2004 movie from Hong Kong, The Eye 2, directed by the Pang brothers, as was its predecessor, The Eye. There's a few reasons I wanted to review this movie. First of all, I had never seen it before, so that in itself makes it kind of top of the heap. Second, I have seen The Eye 3, and I really, really loved it. As I recall, it's been many years since I've seen it, but I want to watch it again, and I want to review it, and I have this rule of reviewing movies in sequential order. Now, I did review The Eye apparently a bit earlier than I thought I did. It's been a lengthier amount of time than I thought. Apparently, I reviewed it back in August of 2018 when this channel was first getting started, and I still had my original graphics and so on and so forth. Oh, the innocence and the youth, and the not knowing what in the world was in store for me over the course of the next year. But regardless, I went back and watched my review of that, and it is interesting kind of the compare and contrast between where the channel was then just on a technical level and where it is now. I'm proud of the progress I made, and I'm looking forward to the next several years of continuing to make progress towards punching out these reviews. But regardless, I did sit down and I watched The Eye 2, and what I found about this one was that, well, first of all, the big question is, what does this have in common with The Eye, or in relation to the first The Eye movie? And the answer to that is diddly squat. It has nothing to do with any ocular anything. It is simply a movie about being able to see spirits. But it also was unique and interesting and went down some dark territory that I really wasn't expecting, and ultimately found it to be an above average without ever reaching the level of great Asian horror movie. This stars Shu Qi as Joey, who is in a breakup, and in this breakup she is suicidal and attempts to commit suicide, but she is revived and brought back to health, and soon after finds that she is pregnant. Also soon after, she finds that she is able to see spirits in frightening detail and in gory, shocking situations that, because only she can see, it brings it to that level of plot device and trope of that you see in so many sitcoms and whatever movies. I have an imaginary friend in awkward situations when I can only see the gestures that they're making, and I get put into awkward public situations where I'm the only one reacting to it. Things like that, and that happens a fair bit in this movie. Actually, a bit more than I really wish it would at some point, because this spans the length of her entire pregnancy over the course of 9 months. I was really hoping that at some point it just would become part of her life. Yes, okay, some things are terrible to watch, but you think that at some point she would get used to the visuals of what was going on and at least accept them as the halfway benign incidences that they are. Some were a bit more than benign. They were a bit, threatening. And that's where we get into the dark territory of one particular spirit who is following her, and where it reveals why. And that's really where this comes down to is, they say a lot. A good horror movie, at the core of it, is a good mystery. And you typically find out the what pretty early on. She goes and talks with the monk. The fact that she was pregnant and the fact that she tried to commit suicide. She was both at the point of giving life and of dying at the same time, which put her in a special state of heightened awareness of the world and so on. And without getting into too spoilery of territory, the real meat of this movie was in the why. Why this one spirit, or why were the threatening things that were happening to her, why that was happening. If just taking at face value what the monk was saying, that just like in life, there is in death, there is no inherent good or evil, they just are. Some people are jerks, some people are nice, and the fact that they're dead doesn't really change that fact. So why in this particular case was this one threatening spirit following her? And when we got down to that, I think that's what really elevated the movie. Shuchi did a fantastic job with acting in this one, and that's why the score is as high as it is. Speaking of scores, I actually should probably throw them up there. So here's the scores here. As always, 4 different categories, each one worth up to 25 points for a total possible score of 100 points. And as you can see, the acting did get a fairly high score. Not stellar high, but, decent. As did, I think, every aspect of this. I think in every aspect there was room for improvement. The plot was a bit winding, and it did harbor a little bit too much on the awkward situations of her seeing things and nobody else did. It just did go on a bit more than I really wanted it to. The intention, it didn't really scare the pants off of me, but it did deliver a good impact, and some of the jump scares did land. And as far as the technical goes, some of it was really good, and then there were portions of it, especially the CG portions, where you could really see the puppeteer with holding the strings there. So on a technical level, it was above average, but again, nothing that really reached the point of stellar greatness that brought any of the scores above a 20. So would I really recommend The Eye to? Well, if you're a fan of The Eye and you know what you're getting into insofar as that it's not a true sequel, it's not even really that much of a storyline shift over, it's more of just a spiritual continuation, if you will. If you know that going into it and you're expecting that and you're okay with that, it does deliver the same quality and craftsmanship that the Pang brothers often bring to the screen, as they did in The Eye, they do in The Eye 2. So that should about do it. That's my review of The Eye 2, 2004, Hong Kong, The Pang Brothers. I really thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If you like these videos, please click like and subscribe, and if you want to support me further, my Patreon link is below. Remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.